Hey, what's up, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, you already know who it is. It's your boy Vern, Barber Knowledge 101. Today, got a special cut for you guys. I'm basically going to show you how to do two different methods, two styles of fading. One with a guideline and one without the guideline. If you've watched my videos, you already know I prefer not using a guideline. I've kind of developed a technique where I don't need to use it. So as you can see right here, all I'm doing right now is just kind of getting the weight down, taking a lot of the thickness off before I even fade. And this may be something that barbers commonly do anyway before you go ahead and put in a guideline, a sharp line all the way around the head and start fading it. Again, like I said, I don't fade like that. I stopped fading like that a long time ago. I'm just going to show you the difference between the two. So right now, as you can see, I believe I've got like I think the 1/8 guard on my Andes clippers. So again, if you've seen my cuts before, you know I don't really normally use very many guards. I mean, obviously you're gonna have to use some guards with pretty much most cuts, any cut that you do, unless it's really short. Then like you might have seen in some of my other tutorials, I go right in and just start fading and doing the whole haircut without really even using a guard if the cut's really short already. But obviously with this guy, his hair was pretty thick. He was overdue for a haircut. So right now I'm just taking down most of the bulk around the side of his head. Now I'm gonna attempt, or should I say put the line in. I'm saying it that way because this isn't really how I fade. I'm just doing it to show you guys in this tutorial. So this is commonly what you'll see most people will do. Basically what I'm doing here, I'm just doing really only one half of his head. So I'm just gonna do this side, and I'm gonna put the line. Now you can see I'm kind of going up slightly, like half an inch. I think I have the 1/16 guard on, and I'm just making another light line. Again, I've been cutting and fading the way I do it for so long that even me doing it in these steps isn't as probably sharp and clean the way a lot of people show you or that most barbers cut. But again, if you notice, now I'm fading out that other line that I kind of put in there with the 1/16. I went up like maybe about half an inch, and now I'm just working on that bottom line to fade that out. And then again, you'll see I'll put another guard on, and then I'll take out the next line that I'm above that. So if you've seen my tutorials in the past, I've always said when you do put this line in the head, always keep in mind where you're putting the line. If you noticed, the line wasn't very high up to begin with, because as you can see where this guy likes his fade, it's right kind of mid-range, right there by the eyebrow, like with a slight slant to it, a little dip in the back, just a little bit. And so had I put that line in higher up, then obviously that fade would have been too high for this guy. It would have been way up past like his eyebrows, and he doesn't like his fade that high. And I wouldn't have recommended it either, just because this guy, he's not cutting his hair down real short. Had he been doing that, I would have I would have combed it like I did and then just cut it down shorter. And I think where we're making the fade complements the height that he's having his hair on top. So as you can see, I'm just blending that line out now, using the guards, using my adjuster, as you can see. And there's nothing wrong with fading like this. This is a perfectly fine way to fade. There's nothing wrong with it. I just basically wanted to show you that I could fade like this, but this isn't how I fade. And you will see once I'm done with this side that you see the line is still faintly there. This is the thing when you put the line in and you bald out the bottom and everything like that, you got to really work that line out of there. And obviously it can be done. if you use a razor to clean the bottom out, or a shaver or something like that, then obviously you got to have good clippers, or really close cutting clippers, to get that last bit of line out of there. So now you can see I'm just taking off the bottom, just cleaning that out. I didn't cut that to begin with because we already knew that wasn't going to be there. So I just, to save time, just started fading. So as you can see, this line's pretty much done. You can see this side right here is almost faded out. And this is with the guideline. And again, nothing wrong with fading like this. As you can see now, I'm using my T-edges. All I'm using here too, again, still keeping it pretty simple. I'm not doing too much here, just trying to show you guys two different ways of fading. You know, you don't need to use a lot of tools. There's nothing wrong with fading like this. I just tend to think that, you know, this is a little bit kind of old school. If you've been cutting a long time, I think you can bypass this. Again, there's nothing wrong with it, but I just think fading the way I fade, you can save a lot of time, and the fade is a little bit more organic, more natural. Like I've said before, you know, when you put a line and fade the line out like that, it's kind of like, I don't know, like tracing a drawing. So it's gonna have sometimes that look to it, as opposed to you doing the drawing just freehand, looking at something and then you just drawing. It just comes out natural, you know, or not artificial or anything like that, you know. But again, there's nothing wrong with it. You can still make a fade look just as good either way, whether you use a guideline or you don't. So you see that fade's done. You see that half right there was done using a guideline. And as you can see, I'm just using a guard. I'm just taking off a little bit of that weight. Now I'm gonna come here and look and show you, boom, no guideline, just going right in and fading, just right off the rip. You feel me? So look, this is how fast you can fade without even using a guideline. Now obviously, you know, I'm gonna have to match the two up, because normally I wouldn't do someone's fade like that, where I do one half and then go around and do the other half. I would have just done it all in one motion, one way. But just for the tutorial, just to show you there's two different ways you can do a fade, this is basically what you want to do. And so as you can see, I'm just going right in. All I'm using here now is just my adjuster. You know, I have it open face and I'm just freehanding right there, no guard. Normally, now this is where you want to be somewhat experienced, because you might not want to do this if you're not comfortable with not using a guard. But as you can see, I've been doing this for a long time. I've developed a nice flicking action. I know how to lean my clippers off the head just enough to kind of give my own effect of having a guard on there. But it just saves time. I don't have to keep going back and forth with the guards or anything like that. So as you can see, look how fast this fade is coming out without using any guideline. I already know how I want the fade to look. I already know where he wants the fade to be at, and I'm just going right in and fading it out. And I can go back and touch things up. And he has, you know, a little bit of gray on the side of his head, so sometimes that gray can throw you off a little bit, or it can alter the appearance of the fade a little bit. But again, as you can see, I'm just using freehand right here, no guard. I'm just going in there, flicking, just flicking. So see, now I'm trying to get the back matched up right there, both sides looking the same. Now obviously you might have a preference. As you can see, the two sides are coming together, but in my opinion, either side can work, however your method or style of fading is. I think it looks pretty close, despite, you know, the two methods here. But again, I prefer the way I fade, because if you notice, it's so much quicker. You see, the two sides are coming together, but like this side's already almost done, and I didn't put any guideline in there. You know, all I'm using, you can see me adjusting the clipper. See, I'm cleaning out the back, and you know, just from closed to open. Now you see, I closed it so I can get them sides real clean. Again, I'm just using my Andy Masters and I'm just using my Andy T edges, But look, you can see, again, sometimes, you got muscles in the head, the skin, so sometimes you got to fade around those little areas because they'll give up an impression of a line. I believe I just put a guard on right now. I put the 1/8 just to take down some of that bulk on the top there. But again, no guideline, just went right in and just started fading.
And now, as you can see, I'm just fading out the sides, or should I say cleaning out the sides with the T-edges, getting it extra clean. I'm just shaping up the side there to give it some definition so it could pop, make the haircut really stand out. And just cleaning out the sides as best I can now, getting it nice and bald to complement the other side so that both sides look the same. And basically, you really can't tell now that, there was two different techniques of cutting here. Even though there was, but obviously this was the whole point of me showing you two different techniques, two different styles of cutting. The preferable style that I use, if you've seen my tutorials in the past, then you'll know how I, generally fade on a regular basis, using no guideline, using guards, because you have to use guards to a point. But for the most part, I kind of bypass a lot of guards steps, basically, and try to do most of it freehand, as you can see, just going in there now, touching up any little dark spots that I see in the fade in itself and going around. But this cut is pretty much done. As you can see, both sides pretty much look the same. I'll be going back over it, touching it up, making it look parallel on both sides as best as possible, fading in the sideburns. And so usually with my tutorials, I'll go through the whole cut. I'm pretty much gonna leave it here and just let you guys observe and watch, listen, to the music and vibe to the cut here, and analyze it for yourself, because like I said, I just really wanted to show you guys the two different methods of cutting. One that is commonly used mostly in the barbershop, and the other, as you can see, how I fade using no guideline. And I'm happy with the job here. As you can see, I'm just shaping up the other side there just to make it pop, give it some definition. And after this, I'll go through the rest of the cut, do his beard and everything like that, scissor cut the top. But basically, I just really wanted to show you guys these two different techniques you can use in the shop, whichever's best for you. Hopefully my method of cutting will help you if you want to try it out, maybe on a family member or something like that. As usual, if you could give me a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, I'd really appreciate it, because that helps me get my information out there to you guys and help anybody that needs it. And again, I'm not trying to do too much dramatic stuff here. I just want to show you guys that, my technique, I think it's effective, real time in the shop. As you can see, I have my clients there in the background, and, keep it moving, trying to make this money. So again, please give it a thumbs up, like, share. If you'd like to leave any comments below, any questions, anything you'd like to see me do, I'd really appreciate the input. That way, that'll help me come up with more creative ideas. And I will be having another haircut here coming soon. I'm actually gonna cut my younger brother's hair. He's got a whole bunch of hair, and we're gonna do a complete makeover, and I'm gonna cut his hair all off into a mohawk. So look out for that video, that tutorial coming up. I hope this video has been a big help. I really appreciate you guys watching and listening to me. I know I can go on a little bit, but I really appreciate it. So again, thanks as always. Be safe and have a happy new year.